Welcome to Fairytales for Reparenting, where we explore fairy tales for the wonderful lessons they can offer us on our reparenting journey. Today, we're going to be looking at the Korean fairy tale, The Tiger and the Dried Persimmons. There was once a small and sleepy village surrounded by mountains on all sides. A tiger lived on the mountain behind the village. Whenever he climbed to the top of the mountain and roared, the people in the village trembled with fright. On a winter night, when all the world seemed to be covered with snow, the tiger climbed down. He had not eaten for several days and was very, very hungry. As he was desperately looking for food, he came near the window of a house. A lamp was flickering inside, and he crept a little bit closer. Suddenly, the baby began crying loudly. Ah, ah, ah. He cried continuously and loudly, just as the tiger, looking around carefully, was about to enter the house. He heard the voice of a woman. Keep quiet, keep quiet. The bear is just outside the window. But the baby, paying no heed to the mother's threats, continued crying. Crouching down below the window of the house, the tiger thought, "That's a strange baby. I wonder what he looks like. He does not fear a fox or even a bear." Feeling very hungry again, the tiger stood up. The baby, however, was still crying on. "Oh, look, look," came the mother's voice. "Here comes a tiger. He's there, just under the window." But the baby continued crying. The tiger was so shocked and frightened that he collapsed on the ground and almost fainted. "How on earth does she know that I'm here?" the tiger muttered to himself. Taking a breath after a while, the tiger peeped into the room again. The baby was still crying. He did not show a single sign of being afraid of the tiger either. The tiger had never seen a living being which did not fear him. He had always thought that all the creatures of the world could not but tremble at the very mention of his name. But this strange baby did not care. Nothing seemed to put fear into him, even the tiger. Now the tiger began to feel worried. At that very moment, the mother's voice was heard again. "Now keep quiet. Here you are, the dried persimmons." The baby stopped crying at once. There was complete silence. The tiger wondered, "Who the heck is Persimmons? He must be more powerful and so ferocious than me." The tiger was both worried and scared at the same time. Just then, something heavy fell on his back with a large thud. The tiger ran for his life, sure that what had jumped on his back was none other than the dreaded Persimmon. Actually, what had jumped on his back was a thief who had entered the garden to steal the cattle. He had jumped from the roof, mistaking the tiger for a cow in the dark. The thief was taken aback too. He was scared to death when he realized that the animal he was riding was not a cow, but in fact was a tiger. The tiger ran desperately to throw the persimmon off his back, but the thief held on tightly to the tiger's back, as he knew that the moment he fell, the tiger would tear him to pieces. Scared for their lives, both kept running until dawn broke. Luckily, the thief found the drooping branch of a tree within his reach. He seized it, climbed up, and hid himself among the branches. He had at last escaped from the tiger's back, to his great relief. Luckily, the tiger was relieved too. "Thank God," he said, "for saving my life. The persimmon is a really terrible creature." He ran back to his safe abode in the mountains, where he remained forever. The Tiger and the Dried Persimmons is a traditional Korean folktale that was passed down orally for generations before being recorded in collections of Korean folklore during the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Like many folktales, its true origins are likely much older, stretching back possibly even hundreds of years. The story uses humor to explore how fear, assumptions, and misunderstandings can shape our behavior. Although the tiger is the most powerful creature in the story, he becomes frightened by something harmless because of the story he creates in his own mind. For those on a reparenting journey, the tale reminds us that many of our fears were learned long ago and may not reflect the reality today. It encourages us to question our assumptions, soothe our anxious inner child, and approach uncertainty with curiosity rather than panic. Through its simple and memorable characters, the story teaches that understanding the truth is often the best antidote to fear. Now, let's take a look at the main themes and lessons. Fear often comes from misunderstanding. The tiger becomes terrified of something harmless because he does not understand what a dried persimmon is. Our imagination can make things seem bigger than they really are. The tiger creates a frightening story in his mind and ends up scaring himself. Assumptions can lead us astray. Instead of seeking the truth, the tiger jumps to conclusion and acts on false beliefs. Even the powerful have fears. Although the tiger is feared by everyone else, he is still vulnerable to uncertainty and confusion. Perspectives shape reality. The same events mean very different things to the mother, the baby, the thief, and the tiger, showing how our interpretations influence our experiences. And now let's take a look at the reflection questions. Number 1. What dried persimmon in my life have I made bigger or scarier in my mind than they really are? Number 2. When I feel afraid or anxious, how can I pause and check whether my fears are based on facts or assumptions? Number 3. As I reparent myself, how can I offer reassurance to the frightened parts of me instead of immediately believing every fear? And number 4. Have there been times when a misunderstanding caused me unnecessary stress? And what did I learn from that experience? Thanks again for tuning in for another fairy tale for reparenting. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, like, and share so we can continue to spread the word of this amazing reparenting project.